In a small town near Fort Wayne, Indiana, lived a 12-year-old boy named Daniel Cooper. Now, Daniel carried more than just a backpack to school. He carried doubt. Daniel struggled with reading. The words on the page seemed to dance and blur, moving too fast for him to catch. Sentences would just melt into one another. While other kids breezed through their assignments, Daniel would sit quietly, pretending to write, just hoping no one would notice he was falling behind. Of course, kids can be cruel. Some of his classmates would whisper. Even some of his teachers seemed rushed to understand what was really going on. Slowly but surely, Daniel started to believe that the problem wasn't the words on the page, was him. He started to think he was broken. One afternoon, it happened again. Daniel failed another reading test. He quickly folded the paper, hiding the bright red marks, and shoved it deep into his bag before anyone could see. He felt that familiar knot of shame tighten in his stomach. But that night, something changed. His mother sat down with him at the kitchen table. He braced himself for a lecture, for disappointment. But she didn't scold him. She just looked at him with kindness and said, softly, "We'll work through this together." And that's exactly what they did. Every single evening after dinner, they would sit at that table, and Daniel would read out loud. At first, it was agonizing. He'd read slowly, painfully, stumbling over words he couldn't recognize. He'd get frustrated. Some nights, he even cried. But his mother was always there, her finger patiently tracing each word on the page, again and again and again. He wanted to quit, but she and he, together, didn't stop. Weeks turned into months. The words didn't magically become easy, but Daniel was becoming stronger. He was building a new kind of muscle, a mental toughness he never knew he had. At school, he started raising his hand, not because he was suddenly confident, but because he had made a decision. He refused to hide anymore. He was done letting fear dictate his life. By the time Daniel got to middle school, he still wasn't the fastest reader in his class. Far from it. But he was, without a doubt, the most persistent. He had learned that progress wasn't about speed, it was about direction, and he was moving forward. Years later, at a high school assembly, a young man stood on stage, a spotlight on him. His hands trembled as he held an award for academic improvement. It was Daniel. The shaking wasn't from fear this time, but from the powerful memory of his journey. Looking out at the crowd, he understood something profound. Here's what Daniel learned, and what I want you to remember today. Obstacles are not signs that you should quit. They are invitations to work harder, to dig deeper, and to find the strength you didn't know you possessed. Hard work doesn't make the difficulty disappear. It simply outlasts it. It wears it down until it has no power over you. So, if you're facing something right now that feels impossible, something that feels unfair, whether it's a learning challenge, a financial struggle, a deep-seated fear, or just crippling self-doubt, please remember Daniel's story. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be the most naturally gifted person in the room. You just have to keep going. You have to be more stubborn than your struggle, because hard work overcomes obstacles every single time. And one day, you'll look back and you'll realize that the very thing that once held you back has become the foundation of your strength. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that inspires. We'll see you in the next one.